I did, but I've got to start the meeting now. Okay, just a reminder to everybody, and for the new commissioners, if you need some assistance with the technology here, ask the commissioner next to you. He or she will she'll be able to help you. Also a reminder to all commissioners to unmute yourself. There's a button by your microphone. Unmute yourself when you wish to speak. State your name when speaking. And for voting on any measure or action today, we'll be using the touch screen to vote. And that's a new thing for the new commissioners. Okay. Everyone settled in? Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call to order the April 16th, 2024 Senior Citizen Commission meeting at 2:02 p.m. Do we have a roll call ready? Looks like everybody's here.
Let the record show that all commissioners are present.
Okay. Commissioner Koblenz, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we introduce our speaker for today, I would like to welcome our two new commissioners, Commissioner Stern and Commissioner Gaber. Welcome aboard. Would you like to take a couple of minutes to introduce yourselves? We'll start with Commissioner Stern.
Hi. I'm excited to be part of this. I like helping people. I have Parkinson's, so excuse my weirdness. But I don't know. I've done so many things in my life. We don't have enough time for even to try to discuss it. But anyway, I've lived in Encinitas for like 15 years, and I don't know. I guess that's the most part.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gaber.
And I'm really honored to be part of this group. Hi, I'm Commissioner Gaber. I really feel honored to be part of this group. I thank Mayor Kranz for the support that he gave me at the council meeting. And my background is 30 plus years of publicly traded corporate companies, starting as janitor. And my last job, I was a corporate officer of a New York Stock Exchange company. And the reason I'm here is that I want to share the values that I've learned over the years and try to make it better. And I thank God I don't live in somewhere else but San Diego County and Encinitas.
Thank you. We're agenda item 4, special presentations and proclamations. I'd like to introduce Claire Mengebeer, who is the docent for Solana Center for Environmental Innovation, Waste Reduction, and Resource Conservation. Welcome to our commission.
Thank you. All right. Can everyone hear me? All right. Hello. As Lambert said, I'm Claire. I am a volunteer docent with Solana Center for Environmental Education. I got involved in this because I have loved the outdoors for years. I love rock climbing, surfing, any outdoor activity you can imagine. Really, I'm always looking for new ones. So I always look to what can I do to protect this great environment we have around us. And I found that actually there's a lot you can do individually on my end and on all of your end to use resources more wisely, whether it be the food you eat and discard or the water you use or any other resource. So Solana Center plays a very integral part in the community in North County and in the San Diego County more widely. So I'll be talking today about our work and why it's important. So basically, San Diego is a nonprofit organization based out of Encinitas that focuses on soil, water, and waste I'll be diving into each of these in my presentation. Our strategies for addressing these is through partnerships in the community, effective outreach efforts, such as this, and all driven by a shared passion for improving and educating our community. So in short, our goal is to help our community realize their environmental goals. So you can go to the next slide. So Solana Center was started in 1983 by a 22-year-old UCSD graduate who, with no previous experience, started the first ever curbside recycling pickup program in San Diego. And since then, cities have implemented their own recycling programs, which is great. So Solana Center has since transformed from a recycling center into a local resource center for a wide variety of sustainability options. So with the help of a lot of dedicated supporters, volunteers, and staff, we strive to offer solutions to the San Diego region's most pressing environmental issues. Next slide, please. So our three main areas of focus, which brought into a large number of initiatives, are firstly direct resource conservation and waste reduction. So this is things like consulting businesses on how to reduce their waste and allowing for anybody in the community to drop off electronic waste. There's a lot more that I'll go into. We also do community education and impact. So Solana Center has really awesome workshops, webinars, and trainings really focused on being practical and usable by anyone in the community. For example, how do I compost in my backyard? We dive into the dirty details of how to get that started and provide the resources to do so. We're also super involved in community, schools, and other campaigns to work with people of all ages on waste reduction and mindfulness of those topics. Finally, we have a lot of research and innovation that goes on with very talented staff members. So we do research on environmental sustainability topics and policy interpretation. We also have a lot of innovative systems and solutions that we're developing to kind of close this loop of resource usage. One interesting one that we have going on now is our textile waste reduction, which I'll touch on in a future slide. But basically, we're very integrated into the community, not only in North County, but programs extending into San Diego, for example, UCSD. And we're proud to say that our work in San Diego has a real measurable impact on our environment. And we released an annual impact report, which you can read on our website under the About page, which kind of dives into more of that, those impact numbers and results. So why is this work important? If you think about the food on your plate, the electronics in your home, the water coming out of your taps and hoses, and the energy powering our lives, all those resources it took to get things to us or to produce them needs to be considered, as well as the impact that all of those things have when you discard them. So when we talk about waste, we need to consider both the upstream impacts and the downstream impacts. So upstream is everything that went into production of that product before it got to you. Downstream is everything that happened to that product after you dispose of it. So touching on upstream effects, this includes land use for mining, drilling, fracking, and clearing forests, using up of habitats and biodiverse environments with species being affected, air and water pollution harming local communities and our food systems, as well as social injustice to indigenous and low-income areas. Next slide. So why do we want to keep food out of our landfills? This is kind of touching more on the downstream effects. So what does composting waste diversion from landfills have to do with methane and climate change? And why is this important? I think there's a common misconception, including by me a few years ago that if you throw out food in the trash, it biodegrades and naturally integrates back into the environment. But actually, if you discard food in the trash, food actually gets trapped, and instead of biodegrading into the soils, it actually releases methane. And methane is very harmful part of climate change because it is 80 times more warming power than carbon dioxide in the short term. So it's classified as a greenhouse gas, and at least 25% of today's warming is driven by methane, specifically from our actions, from humans' actions, as well as the organic waste in landfills actually emits 20% of California's methane. Not to mention the health issues that come from air pollutants, from methane, and other particulate matter that contributes to health conditions like asthma that we've seen growing. So, what is composting? How does this fit in to what I just talked about? So instead of throwing away food and having it release harmful gases into the atmosphere, contributing to the climate's warming, we can actually put it into compost system, and it's nature's way basically to recycle those nutrients in a useful and productive way. So who here composts? We got a few people here. It looks like the majority. That's great. So it's basically when we think about a better way to deal with food waste, the number one thing actually that we can do is reduce the amount of food we throw away. But the second strategy is composting it. When we can't reduce, we compost. So just to touch on really quick, I could go into composting in detail, but I will restrain myself. But composting is basically 4 ingredients. It's greens, browns, water, and air. Greens being food waste majority, and browns being things like leaves, yard waste, paper, cardboard. If we combine those things with water and a little bit of air circulated in that, what we get is a perfect environment for micro and macroorganisms to break down those organic materials and produce compost. So how do we use compost? It's basically a nutrient-rich soil amendment, and when we add it to our soils, to our plants and soils in our backyard, it improves the health and efficiency of that garden ecosystem from the ground up. So composting can be practiced anywhere. It can be in your backyard, it can be at schools and businesses. It can even be practiced in your own apartment. So small spaces are still places where you can compost. And the benefits are huge and numerous. It improves soil health and fertility, increases plants' resilience to pests, diseases, and other environmental stressors. It also allows the soil to hold more moisture. So that minimizes erosion, especially, when we get all this enormous amount of rain that we've gotten lately, as well as runoff and nutrient loss. And ultimately, it's good money sense. It saves you money because we're conserving water and also replacing the need to purchase commercial fertilizers and soil amendments from the store. This is all something you can make with the materials you have on hand instead. So it also, as going back to my downstream effects comments, it diverts valuable organic resources from becoming hazardous materials in landfills. So composting is Solana Center's specialty. Anyone that volunteers or works at Solana Center could talk endlessly about composting, so happy to dive into more detail after this. But we have a ton of resources on our website, a lot of supplies that you can purchase or rent at our store in Encinitas, and in workshops and other events in the community. So next slide. Yes, and that brings me to Senate Bill 1383. Who is familiar with this? Okay, great. So SB 1383 is really helpful for anyone in the community to know because you are affected by it. In 2016, Governor Brown set methane emissions reductions targets for California, and this was a statewide effort to tackle the climate change issue as well as save water and money for the state and for communities. So some targets include reducing organic waste disposal by 75% by 2025, which is coming up quickly, and rescuing food that is still edible that is currently being disposed of. So think about grocery stores or restaurants throwing away ugly produce that people don't think looks good, but you can eat it. And this is also what has helped roll out the composting program. So those green bins that you have, you might have those smaller green bins, and the larger green bins outside of your building are correlated to this bill. Solana Center actually played a part in this. We are supporting awareness campaigns and education campaigns for North counties and all of San Diego on this composting program rollout to answer anyone's questions about how do I use the green bin, what's it for, what do I put in it, what do I not put in it. So yeah, and you can go to the next slide. Now I'll dive into what solutions and resources does the Solana Center have available to you all and to the wider community. So next slide. Firstly is our store in Encinitas. I'll have the address at the end, and I have some handouts if you'd like. But at Solana Center, we sell and rent out supplies for composting, vermicomposting, which is composting with worms, and bokashi, which is another type of composting you can do in your apartment. And actually, Encinitas residents may currently receive free compostable food waste bags. So if you feel like your compost bin is getting smelly and unmanageable, which I'm sure we can all relate to, you can actually go to the Solana Center store and pick up 2 packs of 10 bags per visit, as long as you have your ID proving residence. So if you're all Encinitas residents, this is a free resource for you to be aware of. Next, we have our e-waste and u-waste collection. E-waste being mainly light bulbs, LEDs and fluorescents, batteries. We have a full list on our website of what you can drop off into our electronic waste drop-off at Solana Center. So take a look on the website to see, or you can call ahead of time and ask what's acceptable to drop off. Printers, anything that you don't know what to do with, you can actually avoid throwing it into the landfill, which can cause a lot of toxic waste problems, which is growing. And instead, give it to us, and we do safe and responsible recycling for that. So we rely on donations optionally and the support of the city of Encinitas to help cover the cost of making this available. And we're really filling an unmet need in the area. There are some government agencies that provide this in Poway and Vista, but not many around here. So we're currently just filling that gap. So that's one of our programs. And then next slide, we also partner with Plastic Beach. And Plastic Beach is basically a subscription program paid for those who want to know exactly how their plastic bags and soft plastic are being recycled. Unfortunately, there's not many easy ways to recycle plastic bags right now. So Solana partners with Plastic Beach, which provides a vital resource for keeping those plastic bags out of our oceans and waterways, as well as the issue of these microplastics breaking down and integrating to our soil and waterways. So it's something we hope that can be an easier solution in the future, but Plastic Beach is a great resource if you want to, get rid of your plastic bag pileup. So, and you get a free reusable collection bag as part of that. So that's fun. And then next slide, we also have the garden tools, our lending library. So we're a regional gardening education center. And so we've received funding to develop a free library of garden tools to lend all of you in our community. If you need a hedge trimmer, you need gardening tools, small or large, wheelbarrow, shovels, there's a long list on our website. You can actually just come through and, borrow these for a $5 refundable deposit. So, that's a great resource that our community members really have liked Then one of our newer, I believe, programs is Green Convene. And so this is allows you to use reusable plates and other serviceware for a very low sliding scale fee for events. And this is to replace the need for having disposable plates, utensils, cups, and all that. So we've supplied everything from dinner parties of 12 to weddings of 100. So we can actually really do a lot of different variety of events, and it's good quality, serviceware. So next slide. This is actually our newest program, and I mentioned this earlier in the presentation, but our textile waste program. So this is something we have been hoping to offer, but we're really still fully developing this out, is our textile waste recycling. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find a reliable partner for recycling, and the current capacity for textile recycling is not able to keep up with basically the huge volume of discards. What we did do is we held our first of what we hope to be regular events to raise awareness of this issue. It was called Taking on Textile Waste, and we had that on March 23rd. And this was a really fun family event. I wasn't there, but I heard it was a fun family event with education, a clothing swap, reuse and repair options, how to repair your clothes so that you don't have to throw them out, and upcycled fashion displays, as well as some people working on innovative technologies to tackle this issue. So if any of you guys have any ideas of partners that would be good to speak with, I know the staff at Salinas Center is really trying to find a good partner to make this happen because it's such a huge need. So talk with me after if you have any ideas or leads. All right, so how can all of you take action? There's a number of different ways you can get involved. Volunteering, speaking as a volunteer, it is a really fun way to give back while learning more about topics of sustainability, anything that I discuss, composting, and how our water, soil, resource management relates to climate change. There's really awesome people that work at Salinas Center and volunteer with them, some of them who have been there for decades volunteering, and you can become part of this broader movement of climate justice. So I have a sign-up sheet here, which people can add their information afterwards, or you can sign up on our website. The information is on here. There's a lot of different types of events. You can do worm wrangling, which is basically separating out worms for our compost preparation. Very easy. You just sit there and play with worms. Or you can help with our different booths around the city, at farmers markets, at schools. There's such a huge variety of things that you can get involved with. The other thing is spreading the word. So telling friends, not just about the Solana Center, but also about, the importance of adopting sustainable practices in our lives. If everyone composted and managed their food waste or tried to reduce their water and energy usage, this would add up into a huge impact. So one of the biggest things anyone can do is tell their neighbor or friend and bring this top of mind. The third thing is donate. So some people don't have the time or the ability to volunteer, which is totally understandable, and donating is a great option to support our numerous initiatives and our mission of creating a greener, more livable future for our whole county and country. So our website has a ton of resources. It can maybe be overwhelming, actually. So you can always write down the phone number. I have some handouts, or you can look online to find our information. So you can always call or come visit us. We're open to the public twice a week. We're open on Thursday afternoons from noon to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you can drop your e-waste off or come see, have discussions with us. Come with your composting questions, anything you need. So that's it. Any comments or questions I can answer, I'd be happy to.
Well, thank you so much. This is Commissioner Angel. I do have a few questions. This was a very in-depth overview of the Solana Center, and I volunteered on city events where I've had the opportunity to help out, so thank you
Excellent.
so much. My first question is, how are we doing on reducing our to 75% reduction by next year?
That's a very good question. I wish I had a progress update, but
Okay.
I do not. But I can get back to you on that.
My second question has to do with what you talked about as far as recycling versus composting. And I heard you say that cardboard and paper go into the compost bin. Can you help me better understand? Because I have always believed, and at least what I've learned previously, was that cardboard and paper are recyclable. So help me better understand the difference, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, yeah, that is confusing. They can't, if it's clean cardboard and paper, then it can go in the recycling. It also is biodegradable, so it could go in the composting. If it's dirty, so think like dirty pizza boxes, that can be composted. So,
Thank you.
any other questions?
Well, I just have a comment. This is Commissioner Hanwitt, and thank you so much for this. You gave us a lot of information. And I live in a community that has about 525 homes. It's a over 55 community. And we have a clubhouse where we can invite people to come and educate us so that they don't have to go out like to the Solana Center. Do you do that? Would you be available if we were to set up something to come out and do the same thing that you just did for us here?
I don't see why not. We've done a huge variety of events, and so it just depends on capacity for volunteers and staff to come out there. But yeah, sure, I can give you our contact information of the woman
Okay.
that manages
That'd be
our
great.
events. That would be
we
awesome.
have green bins, but we have people that I know don't use them because I can
Yeah.
see on trash day that they're not out there.
Right.
And I love the idea of the clothing swap. I know of somebody that used to have a clothing swap in a storefront at night, and people could just come and take what they wanted. They brought what they weren't using anymore. They took what they wanted, and whatever was left over got taken to like the women's shelter or something like that. So it is easy to do. You don't have to put it in the trash. I heard something just recently about the piles of discarded clothing. I mean, like mountains of discarded clothing that are in other parts of the country, not necessarily here. So I think that would be a great thing for people to know about.
Yeah, that'd be great. And that's kind of our bread and butter, is teaching people how to use their composting bins correctly. I think, it does take some time to get used to that, but it's hugely impactful for each person. So yeah, let's stay in touch. I
Okay,
would love to
sounds
look
good.
into that.
Commissioner Martin, Claire, do you know why the plastic beach isn't incorporated into your program?
That's a good question. I'm not sure, actually. They've just been, we have actually a lot of partners that are independent nonprofits. I think it might be like a capacity of, it's a really tricky issue to recycle plastic bags specifically, and they're experts
Well, I
at
just
it.
want to say, it's not just plastic bags.
Yeah.
It's actually almost every plastic that your food is wrapped in. And if you look at the data from plastic micro things getting into everything we eat already and probably into all of us here. I got so upset about that I was willing to pay the $15 a month, which is what they do. It costs to do this program. So now I have a lot of people that are involved in it. But your statement about your community, he said, the man that's running that program has said, if we can get more communities saying, well, we'll do it in our home development, we'll bring in the blue plastic bin, and you can just fill it up yourself, and then we'll unload it. So that, I mean, it's not going to stop every bit of plastic going out there and getting into our bloodstreams, but it's a start.
Yeah.
But I would really like
Yeah.
to see you guys, because he said that just renting the space for his little blue box on your land is costing him more than he can pay at this point.
Yeah, let
So-
me look into that. That's a good question.
Yeah, good. Anyway, anything you can do. It's a great center. I wish it was more days a week, perhaps. And I also love that you came here and did this. This is wonderful. I'd love to see, ads in the media and in the schools and whatever, because we've got a lot of work to do. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gaber, Senate Bill 1383 requires all California to get the green bins that we talked about, and you're supposed to put your food scraps in and all that. Now, how does that affect the composting thing? It sounds like you can do composting, or you can put it in the green bins.
Oh, yeah. That's a
And
really good question.
What's going on there in terms of the trend, and what are
Yeah.
people doing?
So
Thank you. By the
the-
way, thank
yeah.
you for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, very good question. So there's numerous options for composting, and since not everyone has the ability or desire to compost in their backyard, which is a great option, they provided this green bin program to the entire community to fill that gap. So if you want to compost and are able to compost in your backyard, even in your apartment, if you're feeling excited about that that idea, you can totally do that, and I would encourage that because it's a great way to recycle those nutrients into your own garden. But if you don't want to do that, or you have too much food scraps, that's what the green bins are for.
Follow up, please. My son lived in San Francisco, and they had the recycle stuff, a bunch of years ago. And in Encinitas, and I think that's all of Encinitas, we got 30-gallon green things. I don't know anybody that generates 30-gallon scraps, food scraps a month. Is there any discussion of making those bins smaller so that it's more manageable?
They're for yard waste as well.
Oh, it's for yard waste as well? But that's okay.
Yeah, good answer.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Claire. And I wanted to say something in parting. Thanks to a class put on by the Solana Center, and I think it was at the Botanic Garden a few years ago. My daughter is the proud owner of about 2,000 pet red wigglers.
Oh, love that.
So we feed them our fruit and vegetable scraps, and they produce worm tea and worm castings for our garden. So thank you again for that.
Yes, I used to be really grossed out by worms, but I think they're quite cute now. So I've come 180, so maybe she will too. Who knows? But thank you all. It's great to chat with you.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to agenda item 5, oral communications. Do we have any speakers today?
For oral communications, we have one speaker, Diana Manuzzi with the Encinitas Library. And you have 3 minutes to address the commission.
Good morning, everyone. This is the library with some upcoming events and some past events that we want to inform you about. So the library will be participating at the next street fair event, which will be Saturday, April 27th, and Sunday, April 28th. We will be there on Sunday all day. We will be supporting Friends of the Library, and it's a very good way for us to support the city with their outreach events. We will be offering library card applications and giving some giveaways and books donations. So we will be there all day. We recently had what we call local author showcase that was in March, very well attended by 80 members of the public, included 10 to 12 authors, and we had so many suggestions from local authors that wanted to come to the library to discuss their latest publications, that we had to funnel it to, it's once a year. So once a year, the next one will be in March 2025. We'll have the next local author showcase. And authors there could sell their books, they could sign their books, and they could also speak about their books, give a very short presentation. We have been invited by Parks and Rec to the next Encinitas Academy event, so we will be there. It's an honor for us to be able to just convey and let the community know about our programs and services. And talking about programs, we continuously receive program suggestions from our community, and we want to welcome all suggestions. However, we are at capacity. We are, whether you believe it or not, short on staff. And so we had to be strategic, and we decided to take program suggestions only twice a year. In March, all the month of March, and in September. So just twice a year, because it takes a long time to process those program suggestions. We have to assess feasibility, and we want to, then we need staff to be able to implement the programs. So we said, okay, we want to be fair to everyone, and it will be twice a year. And thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. Our next agenda item is item 6, changes to the agenda. Have there been any changes made to today's agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Okay, that brings us to agenda item 7, approval of the minutes. Our new commissioners, I'll instruct you two to abstain from voting on this one because you're not here for the last meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve the March 19th, 2024 meeting minutes?
This is Commissioner Angel, and I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March of 2024.
Okay, Commissioner Angel makes the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Commissioner Martin, I vote to approve. I make the motion to approve.
Okay, Commissioner Martin seconds. We will do our touchscreen voting to approve the minutes. There we go. Congratulations, you've done your first touchscreen voting.
Let the record show that the motion passes with all commissioners voting yes, except Commissioners Geiber and Stern, who abstained.
Okay, that brings us to agenda item 8, action items. Item 8A, Senior Citizen Commission Annual Work Plan. Last month, we spent quite a bit of time, I think, going over the work plan for this new term. Just before this meeting, we met with staff to discuss some changes that are made. It's a more structural changes, I think, than anything else. So we'll talk, I think maybe we can talk a little bit about that. But there is also a new addition, which is city clerk is required that the commissions write bylaws for each commission. So that has also been added to our work plan. So we have a very full plate for this year. Manager Hamer, did you want to talk a little bit about the structural changes we're making? That's mainly with the intergenerational, I think.
Manager Hamer here. We did meet with the chair and vice chair just to discuss the need for bylaws, which have not been in place before. And we also discussed the municipal code for the senior commission and how the structure really is based on recommendations that go to city council versus programs or projects or new items. So they'd be recommendations that go to city council, and then we collaborate with staff to see if those can move forward. But more importantly, as Chair Lambert was stating, we had noted that the IG gardening that was placed in one of the areas is not something in place yet, and it's not really with the Youth Commission, and that it would be better placed as more of a project recommendation to City Council and have a standalone item for that versus bundling it with existing programs. So this would be something very new and very different because it wouldn't be at one of our centers. It would be offsite, and it would require facility use, joint use agreement, and some other complexities. So we did discuss that, and I believe we'll hope to have that happen so the work plan can move forward.
So basically what we're talking about is splitting work plan goal number 4, which was focused on collaboration with the Youth Commission, but in outcomes we talked about an intergenerational garden. So what we'd like to do is create a separate work plan item for the intergenerational garden, and basically in the context of putting together a proposal to City Council. Did I frame that about right? Okay. So-
Yeah, Manager
so-
Hamer, I was only going to state that since some of the ideas you had were for programming also for seniors, not all intergenerational, you might remove intergenerational so you have a more broad, gardening.
And we don't know what that is yet. It's still we've been making it up as we go. So I think if the context does change, we can make that adjustment. But right now, it is an intergenerational garden, the intent. So I think we'll start with that. Rephrase that as a separate work plan item. And then you may have noticed also work plan item 10, which is still a little bit mysterious to all of us, which is create senior citizen commission bylaws. Oh, sorry. There it is. Create senior citizen commission bylaws. And we're still trying to figure out what that actually involves, whether it is an ad hoc or whether it involves more than the 3 commissioners. So we'll work that out. As details come out, we will enlighten the rest of the commission.
Commissioner Koblenz, so that we're making reference to item number 10, we're going to fly by the seat of our pants?
For now.
All right, so then,
Yes.
for
So-
clarification, sorry, that was technical terms. So for now, it's still work plan 2024, 2025?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So there is sort of a gap right now in terms of how it will be staffed. But as we get additional direction from the city, we'll fill that in. So for now, I don't think we won't worry about staffing that particular work plan item. But for the new commissioners, this part of the discussion is an opportunity for the 2 of you to identify which work plan items you are interested in participating in. So,
Excuse me. If we were talking about something that needed to be added or amended, I'm going to say that. This is Commissioner Martin. Item 3, the adults 50-plus needs to be changed to adults 60-plus. And we were also talking about a little verbiage about working on, but that might be the bylaws, the process and standardization of the award and nominee process.
I would keep that in that same ad hoc group.
This is Commissioner Angel, right? And that's something that the ad hoc will take on following this cycle, for sure.
Okay. Any other changes that we want to propose at this point? These are all pretty minor ones, I think, which is good.
This is Manager Goodsell. The only other item would be to remove local community events from goal number 1. So we would keep the city-hosted events and city-partnered events, because you can do that as commissioners. You can be an ambassador and a volunteer for city events, and that can remain on the city work plan, city commission work plan. But if you're going to volunteer for a program outside of a city or city-sponsored program, that would be independent from this work plan.
So we're not going to worry about any volunteer opportunities that you would give as a private citizen. Only ones where you're representing yourself as a commissioner. So we're changing the context of that first one a little bit.
This is Manager Goodsell. You're more than welcome to talk about your volunteerism in the community under Commission Reports Roundtable.
Right.
This is Commissioner Angel. I'd like some clarification on that. For an example, might the Dog Days of Cardiff be a city-sanctioned program?
Yes, that's a partnered program.
Just checking.
Yeah. But if, as an example, though, if I were to do volunteering work for the annual count or for the CRC, that is something that we do as private citizens, not as commissioners. So you can discuss that and as part of the roundtable at the end of the meeting, but it does not fit into that particular work plan item. Any other questions about that? Do we have any other modifications or changes we want to? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Not a question, but is it time to indicate what?
Of course.
Yeah, I age well for me.
Okay,
And I do have a question.
sure.
The county has a program, Safe Place, and it's funded by, the county funds the capital expenditure, and it's run out of the district attorney's office, and it focuses on elder abuse, domestic violence, all kinds of stuff. I'm wondering if we might consider, maybe not this year, maybe next year, somehow recognizing that and see if we want to coordinate with that. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year.
Maybe next year, but one of the things I might suggest, if this is appropriate, is to have someone come in as a speaker. And I wanted to point out, too, we do have work plan item 2, identifying guest speakers. I think if you have a passion project, if you have, if you believe that there is a nonprofit organization, service organization, or city government department that can serve the senior community in a way by presenting what they do, set them up as a guest speaker. Work with Manager Goodsell. Do that as early as possible so we can fill up the calendar, and that way we also have an opportunity to promote and well in advance of their scheduled speaking.
Commissioner Koblenz, with regard to that, we have set up some, Manager Goodsell has done an incredible job. In May, Scripps, Encinitas is going to talk about stroke preventions and the signs. Waiting for June for Coastal Roots Farms in August. CRC has semi-committed. We know they'll do that. So just to let you know, we're doing very well. Again, I really want to applaud Manager Goodsell. She's right on these. I send her ideas, and we all have stuff, and bang, she does it. So I think we're looking really well.
Good.
This is Manager Goodsell. So I have reached out to these nonprofit organizations. We're just waiting on confirmation. But we do, I have reached out for a speaker all the way through October. But that's not to say that we can't double up and have 2 speakers in 1 month if you'd like.
So this is Commissioner Hanwood. So the procedure would just be to email you and let you know that there's somebody that we would like to see included on the calendar.
That's correct. You can email me, or you can talk amongst yourself here, and I can take notes on what you would like as a speaker.
Well, what I was thinking was that Village Encinitas is up and running, but I think if we were to wait until like November, if they were to come back and talk to us again, we would have a lot to report.
Okay.
This is Manager Good. So are you saying you'd like them to come out in
Yes.
November? Okay, absolutely.
Okay. Any other comments, changes, questions regarding the work plan? Our new commissioners, do you have some work plan items that you'd like to participate in as the ad hoc committee?
Silly, but Commissioner Stern, can you move down the thing so I can see the rest of them? Thank you.
Commissioner Gaber, the Age Well program?
Forgot you for that. Anything else? Anything else that catches your fancy?
Everything, but
You can pick a couple more. Do you need a hard copy?
I hope I'm doing this right. Commissioner Stern, I like ad hoc committee 8 and 9.
Commissioner Stern, this is Manager Goodsell. Is it just goal number 8 and goal number 9 that you would like to serve on the ad hoc committees, those two?
Yes, for now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Angel. Might we have this plan moved up so we can look at review number 9, please?
No other requests? Do I have then, moving on then, do I hear a motion to approve the fiscal year 2024-2025 work plan?
With the discussed changes and
Yes.
updates.
I do so move.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
go ahead and make the motion.
I make a motion to accept the work plan as submitted with changes.
Okay.
This is Commissioner Hanwood. I second the motion.
Commissioner Gaber makes the motion. Commissioner Hanwood seconds. We get to vote.
Let the record show that the motion passes unanimously, with all commissioners voting yes.
And just for the record, if there are commissioners who would like to participate in other work plan activities that still have availability, is that possible later on?
This is Manager Goodsell. That is possible.
Okay, thank you. All right, that brings us to agenda item 8B, and this is the fun one. This is the Senior Citizen Service Award Program, and I'd like to hear from the ad hoc group on their recommendations.
This is Commissioner Martin. I am going to start this program with an appreciation initially, just to say that we had a fair response a year ago, and then our group put together a guideline for increasing that marketing and working with our partners, and that really, really helped. But we were also helped substantially by one of our commissioners, and she sits right next to me. And we were really in a tough spot because we lost one of our commissioners out of the whole group, and we're down to 2. But then we were further affected by some personal emergencies by both of us. And Karen had stepped forward and really helped us double our responses between all of us and our partners, and did an amazing job. And so, Miss, we'd like to say thank you. And you'll probably want to keep it all in place because it's supported in there. But thank you so much.
I just want to say thank you to the ad hoc. It was, I read the nominations, and I know they carried the entire feeling of both of them through this nominee and honoring. And I think through reading this, we have found that we have 2 incredible commissioners that do this, and also that we have one heck of an impressive senior committee. So I'd like to thank both of you because you brought that to our attention, and thank you, and it's been my pleasure.
With that, this is Commissioner Angel, and I would like to let the commission know that, first of all, we already know that Encinitas is a very special city, and the residents here demonstrate their dedication, compassion, and philanthropic desires and motivation in so many ways. I was so proud, we on the ad hoc were so proud to see the number of nominations exponentially improved this year, and as we just discussed, it was a concerted effort by a group of folks. And to that end, we had 12 individuals nominated, some with many more than one nomination, and I think that is evidence of the caliber of the citizens that volunteer and serve our greater Encinitas community. And while we certainly want to acknowledge everyone who was nominated, and it was a challenge for those of us who read the nominations to select one person, because so many people do so many wonderful things in Encinitas. Based on the scores from the ad hoc committee, it is my pleasure to announce that William Harmon is going to be the Senior Citizen Service Award winner this year.
This is Manager Goodsell, so the ad hoc committee will be making that recommendation to the full commission?
Yes, making the recommendation that William Harmon be selected as the individual for the Senior Service Award.
Okay, so do I hear a motion to award the Senior Citizen Service Award to William Harmon as recommended by the Ad hoc Commission?
This is Commissioner Angel, and I am making, I want to nominate William Harmon to be selected for this wonderful award.
As Commissioner Koblenz, I would like to second that nomination to make William Harmon the Senior Citizen of 2024.
Okay, Commissioner Angel has made the motion to nominate. Commissioner Koblenz has seconded that motion. Time to vote. Okay.
Let the record show that the motion passes with with Commissioner Geiber abstaining.
Thank you. That brings us to agenda item 9, informational items. Manager Goodsell, you have an operations report for us?
All right, thank you, Chairling. There were 529 meals provided at the senior lunch program in March and 223 one-way rides given. There was a total of 776 non-nutrition participants registered for programs in March. Mark your calendars for upcoming senior events, including a birthday celebration on May 3rd, bingo on May 21st, a commemorative Memorial Day lunch on May 24th, and a salute to our heroes social dance on May 17th. We have a new Mahjong instructional class beginning on May 1st at 10 a.m. at the Encinitas Senior Center. It's a free 4-week class to introduce players to the basic rules and simple strategies of American-style Mahjong, a game of both skill and luck that originated in China many centuries ago. Registration is required for this program. I'm happy to report that the LED lighting installation in the community and senior center gym is now complete, and the LVT flooring has been installed in the banquet hall. We've had a very positive response from patrons on both of these projects. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Manager Goodsell. Manager Hamer, you have an operations report for us.
Manager Hamer, wanted to share that the spring egg hunt had to be pivoted to a drive-through because of the pouring rain. But we did have about 500 cars that came through for their egg drop, and we had about 700 children who were joyful and excited to share the spring spirit in the pouring rain. There were van loads, so it was a lot of fun and enjoyed by all. On this past Saturday, we had our Arbor Day. I did see Commissioner Koblitz there, and we also had some other of our commissioners helping. I want to thank you for helping us with the outreach and support. 50 trees were planted, and it was a great opportunity to connect and get together at the Encinitas Community Park. Upcoming is the Music by the Sea concert featuring Iona Pei and friends on Friday, April 19th. That is 7:30 p.m., and that's hosted at the Encinitas Library Community Room. Tickets are still available online for $20, and they will be $25 at the door, and they often sell out. So if you're interested, pick that up. Also, the Arts Division hosts concerts every Wednesday at the Encinitas Library Community Room. It's called Wednesdays at Noon, and that's when they start. And that's free, very popular as well, and also fills up. Upcoming in May, we have a movie in the park. That is Saturday, May 4th. That will be in Glen Park, featuring the Disney Pixar feature film Elemental. We're going to have special activities before the movie that will start at 6 p.m., including STEM crafts and a Scout House open house. We'll have a 7 p.m. welcome and maybe some demonstrations, and the movie begins at about 7:33, which is dusk. So it will be a great family fun event. I know we've had commissioners help and volunteer at that, and we'd love your participation again. Right now, the department is working on the summer activity guide. This will be distributed on Saturday, May 11th to all the residents here in Encinitas, and summer registration will open on Monday, May 13th. So mark your calendars. Classes and programs fill fast. Another May program that I want you to save the date is Sunday, May 19th. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on PCH, we'll have Cyclovia, which was traditionally in January in the past, and it's now moved to May because that is also National Bike Month. The Parks and Recreation Commission hosts a pop-up park, and I know they'd be thrilled to have senior citizen commissioners joining them. So I will give you more information on that in May. And last but not least, the Arts Division is hosting a youth piano competition that's going to be on May 4th. And the winner of that competition will be performing with the orchestra on June 15th at the Community Center. So I'll give you more details on that as that gets closer. Thank you so much, and that ends my report.
Thank you, Manager Hamer. That brings us to Agenda Item 10, Commission Member Initiated Agenda Item. Just for the new commissioners, this is from the previous meeting. If one of the commissioners wants to propose an agenda item that is not covered in our regular meeting agenda, the following meeting, it would pop up here.
There are none.
Okay. Agenda Item 11, future agenda items added by commission members. That's the precursor to Agenda Item 10. Are there any agenda items to be added for next time? No? Okay, that brings us to Agenda Item 12, Commission Reports. This is the roundtable for all commissioners. If you have any announcements or reports to add, I will start with Commissioner Stern at the end of the dais and work our way towards here. Okay? That's okay?
Oh, I hope that worked. Commissioner Stern says no.
Commissioner Martin, this isn't exactly about me, but I wanted to also give appreciation to Manager Goodsell for the constant back and forth on the award, senior award process with our partners. And there was quite a few emails that overlapped actually in the middle of ether space, and she came across so cool and collected. Really appreciate that.
Commissioner Koblitz, I want to echo that for Manager Goodsell. And just to let everybody know, along with two of my other fellow commissioners, I am attending the Academy, and I'm finding it incredibly exciting, learning lots and lots. did have the opportunity to stay to the city. I saw some of our commissioners there, and I think that's all for now. Thank you.
So I'm going to interrupt briefly. For the new commissioners, I strongly recommend for the next cohort of the Encinitas Academy that you participate. It's how you learn about the inner workings of city government and meet a lot of the people who play a role in that.
Commissioner Gaber, I'd like to thank the panel for making me feel welcome and the high quality of the discussion and the obvious commitment to make things better for citizens of Encinitas. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Angel. Well, I'm certainly going to echo the gracious thank you to Manager Goodsell. No doubt you are skilled with negotiations, so I'll just say thank you. I have been attending the Encinitas Academy as well, and tonight is actually the second session, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I also attended the State of the City event, which was very insightful, so I was happy to be able to participate and serve. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Hanwett. I just want to give you a quick update on the progress of Village Encinitas. It's hard to be quick because there's a lot of things going on, and it's still focusing at High Country Villas, but we did receive some grant money from the community grants and hope to use that to have some welcoming events for prospective members from the greater Encinitas, probably starting in the fall. And we are at the point where the website is just about up. We're going to have, by May, we'll be having people sign up to become members/volunteers. And the enthusiasm remains. So I think it's something that's going to stick around for a long time.
Okay. That brings us to the conclusion of our meeting. The April 16th, 2024 Senior Citizen Commission meeting is hereby adjourned at 3:07 p.m. Thank you, everybody.